Beijing's top officials on the economy and finance have laid out broad plans on how the country intends to reach its growth target of around 5% this year. They're speaking at a media briefing on the sidelines of the annual two-sessions political meetings. The director of the top economic planner says he believes the 5% goal is achievable and in line with China's economic potential. However, some economists have called this target ambitious and suggested it may not be realized without further government stimulus. And more CNA's Si Hui joins us live from Beijing. Si Hui, what measures do policymakers intend to take to meet that 5% growth target?
Yeah, Chinese officials, they are defending their plan to aim for a GDP growth target of around 5%. And they're going to do so as they detail the plans ahead. One of them includes boosting consumerism here in China, especially domestic consumerism, after confidence among consumer is muted after the pandemic. So they're looking at fostering new growth areas. We're looking at the cultural as well as recreational tourism. They're also looking at sports events. Now, they're also looking at boosting foreign investment. That's after a 30-year slump. We saw foreign investment last year experiencing that slump. And so they really want to boost foreign investment. They're removing all restrictions on foreign investment in the manufacturing sector. They're also loosening market access when it comes to the services sector, such as telecommunications as well as medical care. Now, they are also looking at the real estate market. China facing a property slump, with market ending last year with worse declines in home prices. So they want to diffuse risk by making sure houses are delivered on time. They're also meeting funding needs of real estate companies. Now, regarding monetary policy regulation, officials say there's still room for maneuver, but the bank will keep the yuan stable. But as to whether all of these announcements will boost the economy, that remains a big question. But as we see at the press conference today, we could see that the Chinese leadership wants to signal to businesses as well as investors that they are prioritizing the economy, because we saw big financial bigwigs in the press conference room. We're looking at the chair of China's central bank. We're also looking at the minister of commerce. They were all in the same room at the press conference answering questions from journalists. This is a rare opportunity because previously they had only had small conferences. And so this is a deviation from what is traditionally a press conference with a small group of people. And it also comes after Premier Li Qiang had mentioned that there will no longer be a press conference at the closing of the two sessions.
Si Hui, you mentioned boosting domestic demand and also lifting the real estate sector out of a long-standing problem that it faces. Now, these are domestic issues. Of course, the Chinese officials also highlighted international, external pressures, international headwinds. What is their plan, apart from, as you mentioned, boosting foreign direct investment? How are they planning to tackle external pressures?
That's right. During the press conference, they had briefly acknowledged the grave situation in the geopolitical situation, as we have seen the wars in the Middle East, as well as the Russia-Ukraine war. And so they had mentioned this during the press conference, that there will inevitably be spillover effects on foreign trade.
应该说，今年的外贸形势，我们判断还是处于一个十分严峻的这么一种形势。这个一方面呢，多个国际组织预计2024年全球的增速仍将低于历史的平均水平，外需下滑的压力还是很大。另一方面呢，我们也看到了贸易保护主义单边主义这些抬头。
With that said, they say that they still see foreign trade with a positive trend and with strong resilience. At the same time, they want to introduce a few measures. They're looking at improving foreign trade, looking at enterprises, specifically SMEs. They also hope to make personnel exchange more convenient to keep supply chain open. They are also looking at new drivers of foreign trade. They are looking at expanding trade into intermediate goods, as well as promoting green trade so as to lower carbon output. Beyond today's press conference about the economy, we're also looking forward to tomorrow's press conference with the Foreign Affairs Minister Wang Yi. He will be addressing questions from the media here at the media center as well. And that's when we will hear about Beijing's policy stance on foreign affairs.
Thanks. Tan Si Hui reporting live to us there from Beijing.